Next, coming to the heparin induced bleeding and protamine sulfate. So one of the major important adverse effects with the parenteral anticoagulants is the risk of bleeding. So the major untoward effect of heparin or low molecular weight heparin and fondaparinux is the bleeding. So the major bleeding occurs in 1 to 5% of the individuals, mainly when the intravenous heparin is used for venous thromboembolism. It is less in patients who are treated with low molecular weight heparin compared to the heparin. So what are the underlying causes for bleeding when you administer parenteral anticoagulants? So any case of recent surgeries, any history of trauma, any peptic ulcer disease or any platelet dysfunction, and also the use of concomitant drugs like aspirin and antiplatelet drugs can increase the risk of bleeding tendency. So next, coming to the protamine sulfate. So whenever there is a increase in heparin dose, it can lead to adverse effects like bleeding. So when you stop the heparin, the anticoagulant effect of heparin disappears within hours of discontinuation. So for the mild bleedings, you can control the bleeding by withdrawing the heparin, so without any administration of any anticoagulants. So only in case of life-threatening hemorrhage, heparin anticoagulant effect can be rapidly reversed with the help of intravenous infusion of protamine sulfate. Protamine sulfate is a antagonist for heparin overdose. So what is protamine sulfate? It is made up of mixture of basic polypeptides which is mainly isolated from salmon sperm. So basically it binds tightly to the heparin. So you know that heparin is a strongly acidic drug. So protamine sulfate being a basic polypeptide, it combines with heparin which is a strongly acidic drug. So thereby protamine sulfate will neutralize the anticoagulant effect of heparin. So protamine and has got some anticoagulant effect also. This is one thing there is a little bit worried about protamine sulfate. Although protamine sulfate acts as an antagonist for anticoagulant action of heparin, protamine itself has got some anticoagulant effect. So it can interact with the platelets, fibrinogen and other plasma proteins. So it should be so that is the reason why protamine sulfate should be administered at minimal amount, because if you increase the dose of protamine sulfate it can show anticoagulant effect. So the minimal dose of protamine sulfate should be administered to produce a antagonist effect on the anticoagulant mechanism. So you'll be administering 1 milligram of protamine for every 100 units of heparin which is remaining in the patient body. So it is given intravenously at slower rate up to a maximum of 50 milligram over 10 minutes. So protamine sulfate binds only to the long heparin molecule, but it only binds partially to the low molecular weight heparin. So remember, protamine sulfate will bind only to the long heparin molecules very tightly and it neutralizes the effect of heparin, whereas it binds partially as well as it reverses partially the anticoagulant effect of low molecular weight heparin, and also protamine sulfate has got no effect on the fondaparinux. So what are the key points to note? So protamine sulfate is an antidote for heparin overdose. Protamine sulfate is partially effective in overcoming low molecular weight heparin overdose, and protamine sulfate has got no effect on fondaparinux. Protamine sulfate is a basic polypeptide, so thereby It neutralizes the anticoagulant effect produced by heparin, which is a strongly acidic drug. So since the protamine sulfate at higher doses can produce anticoagulant effect on its own, that's why you should use a minimal dose of protamine sulfate, like 1 milligram of protamine sulfate is used for every 100 units of heparin which is remaining in the patients. So 1 milligram of protamine will neutralize the 100 units of heparin. Thank you.